Crazy theory, please scroll on if you don't want to hear this. Every time I mention anything having to do with this, the algorithm doesn't like it. So I'm going to cover up most of this book. Before I go any further, there are names of some fallen angels in here, and I'm not going to go through them all, but I have discovered something interesting. The 33rd one is named GAAP. GAAP stands for Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. This came about like early 20th century. This has to do with financial accounting and reporting. The 33rd spirit is GAAP. Please scroll on if you don't want to hear this, okay? Please scroll on, okay? Scroll on right now. Generally Accepted Accounting Principles came about prior to or alongside the Great Depression. Human shape, a guide to conduct them along on their way. His office is to make men insensible or ignorant, as also in philosophy to make them knowing, and in all the liberal sciences. He can cause love or hatred. Also, he can teach thee to consecrate those things that belong to the dominion of somebody else. Okay, basically, there's a whole order here, a whole order of this, and they can do good or bad things. I just can't imagine that this was done by accident. There's no way that's an accident. Crazy theory, crazy theory. But God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Also, the Bible says that Satan is the father of this world. And everybody wants to get so angry at the devil. Oh, Jude. One of my favorite books. Favorite books. Yeah, this one is mentioned in the book I just came from. Yet Michael the archangel, in contending with the devil when he disputed about the body of Moses, dared not bring against him a reviling accusation, but said, "The Lord rebuke you." Now, here's the thing. We're getting deep into there's a whole bunch of stuff going on here, okay? And I could probably go on for hours about this. I know a whole lot more about this than I'm letting on right now. Stuff I don't want to say, but let's turn in our Bibles to Ephesians 6 for a moment. Yes, Ephesians 6, verse 12. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness. Go within. You need to meditate and go within. The download I've gotten lately, and that's why I was led to read this. I was led right to this. I'm like, why did I buy this book? I was led to buy this, and then it was just like this kind of just unfolded. Like I actually learned a lot of this stuff many years ago, but I was told to disregard it. Told to completely disregard it and taught it in a completely different way. Something that's been going through my mind lately, and some of you are going to understand this, and I'm putting this out there because I know some of you have gotten the same download, because I've been talking a lot about a unified field of consciousness. Think of it this way. Your mind is a magnet. It's like basically there was just a bunch of consciousness dumped down, okay? Your mind sort of springs up from the earth. You do. Your pineal gland draws all that in, okay, from whatever's around you, from the senses and sights and, family, ancestors. It's from the same consciousness that just keeps drawing over and over and over again. And it's up to us, to our minds, the magnet. It's up to us what we focus on. Whatsoever a man thinketh, so is he. What's going on? Like the reason I was led to read a certain book here is because that's what the principalities and powers actually look like. And look, they harvest our anger, our emotions. Okay, now this is something only very enlightened people are going to understand. Those fallen angels that I just mentioned, they're under somebody's command as well. They can be good or bad. Some of them, like the reason they're saying they're archangels as well mentioned in here is because they could be good or bad. Like just because they're a higher dimension than us doesn't mean they're not manipulated by the same overarching being, let's say. Okay, just as I say that, I was going to say, bathe yourself in light. For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light. There's been such a huge deception. As I read these books here, like, there have been so many books I've been led to read. Look, think for yourself, please. Focus on the light. Go within. Focus on good things, raising your vibration, raising your frequency. That's how we create the new earth. Anything of anger. Look, I'm not trying to say you need to handle demons on your own. I'm saying that you have been manipulated by fear. Something I've really been guided to do is send healing light, prayers, and I sat and meditated for a long time for some people who have been in the news, for some high-level people. Okay, people who oh gosh, look, They're wrestling too. The coercion is real. The coercion is real. I want to show you something else. And some of you, if you follow me, I talked about this. Okay, gosh. What further confirmation do I need? It opened up to write to this, okay? A lot of people take this verse to mean that the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, is evil. And like, look, I feel so bad. I feel so bad now because there is coercion here. This book is Living the Law of One. This is a hard discussion to have. This is just a crazy theory. Again, this name right here, which I don't even want to say out loud. Positive polarity and people with negative polarity. Positive polarity, Jesus, peace pilgrim, Martin Luther King. Negative polarity, people like this. Like in Christian circles or anywhere, like really, it always comes down to, is this person saved? That's what it always comes down to that. And this person asks, what becomes of people like that who have to cause a lot of trouble on our planet? Someone of the raw says, I'm aware of your query, my sister. When such an entity is successful in pursuing the negative polarization to the degree which shows a great desire to serve the self at least 95% of the time, shall we say, then an entity is also able to achieve that known as the graduation in the negative or service to self sense and is then able to choose a planet of fourth density negative vibration with which to join its vibrations in a social memory complex of negative nature. Okay, I also want to draw your attention to the fact that in this book, when it first starts out, because she gets hypnotized and she starts channeling the Confederation of Planets in the service of the infinite creator, the Confederation and religion. Let me show you. People that she was channeling from had her set up an altar with a copy of the Holy Bible. She was a devout Christian, Episcopalian, and asked not to have any metal in the room. Like, they didn't mock her religion, and that's something we can't do. Like this whole thing where like the fundamental Baptists, because oh gosh, I've seen so much of this. Fundamental Baptists who, go fighting the good fight thinking they're saving Catholics or anybody really. They're putting all this anger out there, and that's just not the way Jesus wanted us to behave. And then people, okay, what kills me here is, and if you follow me, you know that, there's a word I'm really not going to say, although this video is probably not going to go out. Have you been stuck in traffic lately? That happened to me once, and, I know what it's like to have this against my will. Especially the fundamental Baptists, I saw them be like, no, you're just, oh, she's a whore, just beat up on her. That's, oh my gosh. But what about, let he who is without sin cast the first stone? What about eating with them? What about Gomer and Rahab? Rahab was a harlot. Jesus came from Rahab. God used Rahab for good. The other night when I was meditating, one of the people I meditated for was the Pope, and I've never done that before. But you know what? I just got this really strong, feeling I just saw one little thing of him, on the back of his head or something. I don't even know what it was, but something came across my feed, and that keeps going through my head. I'm like, he just looks like he's been worked so hard. You guys, I know everybody thinks that money is everything, right? But I'm going to tell you something, and I've learned this the hard way. You know how they say the bigger they are, the harder they fall? The bigger they are, the harder they're coerced. Okay? I know it seems like people who have money should be able to take care of anything, right? Everything's taken care of. Well, you don't know. And I now see. Oh gosh, I know. If you've watched this before, you're probably going to laugh out loud what I'm about to say. But I can't be the only one getting this download. You know that song, Mo Money, Mo Problems? By Diddy? I don't know. He might have been Puff Daddy back then, but I really got that was a cry for help. That life was chosen for him. He didn't choose that life. He didn't choose that life. And I'm saying this as someone, yes, I heard what he did to people. I heard it. And I heard, I know. And I've been through things. And that was a very triggering story, the first girl who filed the lawsuit. But you know what was healing for me is that people in the comments said that not one person put it back on her. And that felt so healing to me to read that. And because people saw what happened. It's like he lured this girl in. He had a friend say that, come here, come help me, I'm sick. She goes over to help her sick friend. It's this girl that for no reason Diddy targeted. Oh my gosh, it's just disgusting. But he's being controlled by someone. And you know what, this negative polarity thing? Okay, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to say he deserves to get away with anything. Do not even mistake that. No. You get your karma. You get your karma. But what I'm trying to say is, I was meditating in a strong, powerful light the other night. It was, okay, I am going to say some names because I doubt if people even watch this far, and I doubt this will even get pushed out in the algorithm. The Pope, Diddy, Oprah Winfrey, who else? Let me think. Oh gosh, it was Ellen DeGeneres for a long time. I just sat and just thought of them and just cast a light from myself to them. Alberto Rivera. I got off that subject. Okay, this whole thing about possession, demonic possession and all that, it's not really like that. I mean, it's just a matter of polarity. That's what I'm getting. Like, that was one of the deceptions here. Look, I got so many downloads about this. She's protecting her people. She said, yes, I'll work for you, but I'm going to protect my people. Those popes have been worked hard. The people have been worked hard. Everybody is under this oppression. It's oppression. Is exactly what it is. Look, I'm just a messenger. I was led to put this out there. But what I'm saying is, they also saved their people. They preach a lot of mysticism. They teach a lot of mysticism. And you know what they do? They also teach, at least they used to, maybe they might not anymore, but they used to teach their people not to even read the Bible. They'd say, let us read it to you. Like, that used to be, the whole sermon would be in Latin. You couldn't even understand it. It's stuff that people have assigned power to. It's basically just like fields of energy that have just been harnessed and people assign energy to. And I'm telling you, like this book I just mentioned, you were going to see a lot of stuff in the Bible as well, because it's like they were just sort of pick and choose what we were told, okay? Because King James, this is a new King James Bible. King James was obsessed with demonology, and he was the first to really translate the Bible in English. Even if you read other versions, if you're in America, the chances are your version is still somehow based on the King James, even if it's from a different set of scrolls. Like there's Antioch and Alexandrian, it's a whole thing. But even if you're reading like NASB or Amplified or something, King James had a part in this. King James was way deep into this stuff. You can Google Alberto Rivera. And if you Google Alberto Rivera, I already know what you're going to find. You're going to find Jack Chick, okay? He used to make these tracts, the ones that were real hellfire and damnation, over the top, scare give you the fear of God type of Bible tracts that people would leave around. And he's still out there. Awesome, really an awesome cartoonist, awesome illustrator. Oh my gosh, the illustrations are amazing. But anyway, Jack Chick put out a comic book about this guy, Alberto Rivera, and it's people don't take it seriously. You're going to find all kinds of people saying horrible things about it. Alberto was a Jesuit priest. He says that the Catholic Church, look, and hear me out. The Catholics are saved. I love Catholics. I love all of you, and you're saved, okay? Like, there's been so much deception. It's the evil powers above them, okay? It's not the people, it's not the human beings you see around you who are the issue. That's why that's what Christ consciousness really is. Years ago, like in Pentecostal churches and stuff, people would say, the devil, you gotta hate the devil. The devil's the only one you're allowed to hate. No. I mean, and I didn't know at the time about this thing in Jude. About, how the Archangel Michael didn't even argue with Satan. Lucifer, Lightbringer. Look, it doesn't really matter how it's going about as long as they get you to focus on love, on light. You know how we say love and light? Focus on that and really draw that to yourself. This is living the law of one. I learned in a class taught by fundamental Baptists at a seminary, fundamental Baptist seminary, that I only took a few courses there. I didn't graduate from there. They said that the Catholic Church used to teach, don't even, let us teach it to you. Don't try to read the Bible yourself. If that's true, I get it. I completely get it. That's why they have catechism, they do all this stuff. Because they want to teach it to you the right way, because there's been so much in here. This book, I'm not showing you. If you saw how much is in here, but not in, it's, yeah, I see now. I see so many things now. I just keep getting the phrase sympathy for the devil, which is a song by the Rolling Stones. And it doesn't actually mention the phrase sympathy for the devil. It's that one, pleased to meet you, won't you guess my name? Isn't that the song? I can hear it in my mind, but what I'm trying to tell you is that we have seen things handled wrong. I'm not trying to say invite the devil to have lunch with you or anything like that. Although there is a book, it's not the Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis. If anybody knows, if anybody does happen to watch this, I don't know if anybody's going to watch this. If you actually watch this far, say something below. But it's not the Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis, but I have asked ChatGPT and Google, what is this book? I can't even think of what it's called, where a guy said that it was like this pastor. It seems like his wife would go to bed and he said that he would talk to demons. He would invite these demons in. Now, demons are fallen angels, right? Doesn't the Bible say, and we've sometimes entertained angels unaware? Really, from what I see here, these angels, demons, fallen angels that are also mentioned in this book could go either way. It depends on how they're manipulated. They are parts of an army as well. They are also being manipulated. These has all been crazy theories. I can talk about this more at some point, but yeah, Alberto Rivera, and also, since we're on this topic, Alberto Rivera, he just gave away all these secrets. Like, he said he went through the Jesuit training, and it goes deep into Jim Jones and that whole thing, who, by the way, and I'm not talking about the rapper, I mean Jim Jones, that Guyana tragedy. He says that Jim Jones was actually a Jesuit priest, and that his purpose was to make it so it would be illegal to ever do anything like Guyana again. It was on purpose. Let me tell you something about Jim Jones. When I watched some YouTube documentaries about this a few years ago with a friend, and I've gotten to a discussion with someone online about it, it's always like, well, I saw the movie back in the 80s. It was this old movie with Powers Booth, an actor you used to see a long time ago. Great actor. It was a TV movie for 2 hours, and apparently I never watched it. But I've talked to multiple people who everybody remembers this movie about Jim Jones, which it's interesting that they got it so wrong. They say they drank the Kool-Aid, right? No. The documentary and even some Alberto Rivera stuff, Jim Jones was like, no, the officials have shown up. I'm injecting this Kool-Aid. He injected it. The Kool-Aid was injected. Just saying. He trapped them and injected the Kool-Aid. I know this has been crazy. Look, nothing I said here is true, couldn't possibly be. Use your own judgment, please. Please meditate in the light. If I can leave you with any final thoughts here, please be encouraged. Let's go to 1 John. I love this verse. God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. Bathe in the light. If we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship with one another, and the blood of Jesus Christ, his son, cleanses us from all sin. Okay? Just bathe in the light. Bathe in the light. We have no fear. We are enlightened. We go within. Read Gospel of Thomas, Gospel of Philip. Meditate. Go within. We have no fear. It is spoken, it is written, and so it is. Amen.